It's been acknowledged by government and other public bodies that the pandemic has hit vulnerable groups and those living in deprived areas the hardest. Official figures for England show that the overall death rate between April and June this year in the poorest areas was nearly double that of the least deprived. The government says it is committed to reducing deprivation and has spent over £100 billion in welfare support this year, and that they are ensuring that councils have the appropriate resources. Our special correspondent Ed Thomas has spent time in Burnley and reports now on some of those trying to cope there with unemployment and with mental health issues.
I love the poor because I know I'm the poor, and as long as I breathe, I'll serve the poor.
No need to push, there's plenty.
You see all these people, they have children. Hungry children.
We need social distancing or we're going to get in trouble.
It's hard to keep your distance when you're cold and hungry.
Politicians say that it was a level, this coronavirus. It's a lie, because if you're poor, you've got no chance.
There's tuna, pasta, bacon, all sorts in here.
It's really hard to get food for myself because I've got much money on me and I can't go out anywhere.
A couple of days' food is mean everything to us.
We'll have no parties.
Every time you get any money, it disappears as fast as you've got it. With the coronavirus as well, with the reduction in wages, it's not easy to cope.
So this means you can eat?
Yes, yeah, you can eat and it helps out wherever you're stuck.
Running with chocolate one.
I think they've all got chocolate here, brother.
And all this is laid on by Pastor Mick.
The need's massive, absolutely colossal. This is the church I represent.
The level of need here in Burnley at the moment is, I think, unprecedented, and it's upsetting.
We got some bread as well, yeah?
For too many, the legacy of coronavirus is not only sickness, but desperation.
Visiting a family who had no carpet, who had no settee, who had no gas, had no electric, they had no food. I broke my heart because nobody cared for them. They fell through the crack.
Pot noodles, that kind of stuff, all right.
I go into houses and I sometimes have children ripping the bags open to get at the food as I'm carrying them to the door. And it's not all right, that. That's not all right. And it wasn't as bad as that before the virus. The biggest part of coronavirus has been the loneliness.
Most days, Pastor Mick helps people like Viv. She's 55.
I keep trying to force myself to eat. I'd stop eating for about a week. I just ended up collapsing on my bathroom floor.
Living in isolation became too much.
It's just like brought it all back. I've lost my husband, I've buried 2 of my babies. I gave birth to them. All I wanted them to do was cry, and they didn't cry. Yeah. No mother has to go through that.
The coronavirus brought all this?
Yeah, it's brought every moment back to me.
When you collapsed, what went through your mind?
Just let me go, let me, you know, my number must be up. I thought my time were up.
And Pastor Mick says he's hearing more and more of these stories.
We're trying to fetch a bit of hope to people's lives.
The unfairness of health deprivation.
I feel angry because people aren't listening.
What has coronavirus meant for your care?
It stopped it. I'm supposed to have a blood test done once a month for my cancer count. Nobody's been and done it. 6 months. I don't want to be a drain on the system that's already dying, because I'm already dying.
We can't do nothing to help. We've just got to sit back and watch it.
There's not many people lose a child, and there's even less that lose 2.
The First Lady of our food bank came and she broke down. Her daughter had killed herself.
We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
You have to try and find words.
Without their support, what would have happened to you?
Me, I'd probably be where my daughter is now. Up there. I probably would have took my own life if it worked for him.
Together, they're the hope for thousands through this crisis.
You know, it's you carry people's burdens. You try to tell them that it's all right. It's so upsetting.
That was Father Alex Frost ending that report there by our special correspondent Ed Thomas.